Long time no see. Welcome to part 2 of this week's episode. We hope you enjoy the second half, and it definitely ends a little differently than you think it's going to. Enjoy the episode.
Anyways, so, yeah, he gets a new girlfriend, 2 years, nothing happens.
Congrats to the happy couple.
I'm really trying to live my best life. At this point, I'm like, okay, it's over with. We already had our come back together. I don't know if we're going to come back together ever again. So I'm just going to do my thing. Like, I'm just going to live my life and see what happens.
We start our podcast.
Yeah, like, honestly, had a crazy fucking year.
We had 2 years. A lot of stuff happened. We started our podcast. He definitely popped up in and around the podcast for sure. Like, I definitely, when we first started back last year.
Yeah, that's true.
This time last year, I would see him, like, in our lives or liking things or viewing stories. Again, get a fucking burner, my God. Number one.
The man needs a burner account, and that is honestly key takeaway number one from this episode.
Actually, no, I can't say that. But yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Fair enough. So, 2 years go by, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm minding my own business, okay?
They still follow each other from
we
the
follow
pandemic.
each other from when we reconnected during the pandemic. We had followed each other again, and so I'm minding my business, going through the gram, and I see an Instagram story. And the Instagram story is of a song. And the song is... Should I say?
Everybody guessed what it was already.
Honestly. Okay, the song was Closer by the Chainsmokers. We've talked about this before, and everyone guessed it.
Yeah, I know.
Which is kind of funny.
And we were really vague.
Like, all we said was it was a It song in 2016, and it was, everyone guessed. But, so he posted, like, Closer by the Chainsmokers. And I hate to say it, but that was our song. Because that was a song that was playing when we met originally.
So, baby, hold me closer in the backseat of your Rover. If you guys want us to do a album,
cover,
let us know.
Maybe we'll release it tomorrow. But anyways, so we start doing like Music Mondays.
Karaoke.
It's just like traumatic songs. Like, anyways, so it's Closer by the Chainsmokers. Literally, honestly, I don't even like that song now. Here's why. Because he posted it and I was like, what the fuck?
Randomly, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, not to put a timeline on it, but 2 months ago he fucking
to
posted.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
In between there.
Pretty recently, he posts Chainsmokers Closer song from 2016.
Which you're weird for that.
So I'm immediately thinking this is kind of weird that
imagine
this guy
putting that on your story right now. I know we've talked about this in another episode, but like, guys, like, really think about that.
Imagine if I put on like broccoli. You know what I mean? Like, that's the same energy. That's the same energy.
Like, yo, this shit goes crazy. I don't know if anyone's heard about this.
I'm about to post
super
it tonight.
underground.
I'm about to post it tonight just to see the reaction because I'm genuinely so curious. So he posts it. I don't interact with it or anything, and I'm like, there's no way. I'm thinking about it for the next like 20 minutes. Like, I'm like, okay, is it about me? No. Is it? No. There's no way he posted that about me. No. Well, no. You know, like, I'm like in my head about it, and then I go back to look at it, and it's deleted after I saw it. So I'm like,
I never even saw it, and I remember you being like,
because he posted this. He posted it, I saw it, and he deleted it.
By the time I went and looked, it was gone.
So immediately, like, that's,
you know what I went and checked it on?
Suspicious. Your burner
account.
Obviously,
I'm not
the
an
burner.
idiot.
If you don't have a burner in 2022,
when the podcast was less popular, I used to use the podcast as my burner. And now we're at a point where it's like,
now it's like my face is on the right on the DP, so I can't really use it anymore.
Oh, Lauren didn't check my story, but the Weekend Roundup did.
Everyone's gonna be like, that's so weird. Maddie's plant is looking at my Instagram.
Lauren's dog has been checking my stories recently.
Dolly. Yeah, so like, definitely
Dolly
use a
the dog.
burner. Clyde the Monstera. Not us giving our ads to our fake burners. Anyways, so I like I'm like, that is so fucked. But I kind of gaslit myself into thinking like I was crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause here's the thing. We hadn't talked for 2 years and then you just post our song. So I'm thinking like, okay, I'm in my head about it. I'm being so dramatic. Like that's just a classic song from 2016. I'm doing everything I can to convince myself that I'm in the wrong. Like I'm wrong about it. You know what I mean? Then we log on. Here I am just trying to get some hours in. And I log on to the Weekend Roundup advice forum.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, is in our bio. If you need any advice, let us know. Or apparently, men love to use it to hit on me.
Yeah, Maddie specifically. I haven't
I've
gotten
actually-
any crush messages in the
I've
question
gotten
forum.
I've gotten the solid 4.
Yeah, Maddie has had 4 slide-ins. I'm honestly, my self-confidence is at an all-time low, and
Because
nobody
the
has-
anonymous haters are not sending love letters. No. And here's the thing, I love checking the advice form and I love seeing a new question. So when I saw that there was an extra question, I was absolutely amped. And then I scroll down and I'm like, which one's the new one? Which one's the new one? I'm like reading all these ones I had already seen. And then there it is. And it's like, what do you do when someone's trying to get
When
your
your
attention
ex-
again?
when your ex.
Did it say your ex?
When your ex.
What do you do when your ex is trying to get your attention
again?
Immediately, I'm not even kidding, I fucking know it's him. Like, I know it's him. And I say this before, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Like, I always just know, and I can't explain it. Like, I just fucking know it's him. And I'm like, how am I going to pitch this
There's
theory
also
to
a
Laura
way,
without
though.
sounding crazy?
There's also, though, like, people have text styles.
I know.
You
but
know what I
this-
mean?
This wasn't even that. Like, that's not how I knew. Like, I just knew. I was like, that was from
Intuition.
That was from my fucking
A man that I had been
man.
seeing.
That was from my man that I had been seriously seeing for multiple years. Okay. so I'm like, okay, like, what the heck is this about?
She calls me.
I called Lauren and I'm like, dude, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I know he sent that in. I know it. And Lauren's like, well, maybe, but like, it seems like a stretch. And like, it totally was. Like, that's the thing. Like, I knew it didn't make sense. Like, I was like, it literally doesn't make sense for him to be sending it because we haven't talked. Like, we hadn't really talked. Like, we hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to text him. Because here's the one thing I think.
I will say, before anyone comes at Maddie, I co-signed on the text.
Thank you. That's really sweet for saying that.
I did, though.
Yeah.
I did.
But
We went out to dinner with my uncle.
It was honestly Uncle was in on it too. Like, not to throw Uncle under the bus right now, but Uncle said text the motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle is a way better
I'm kidding.
lawyer than we do, so maybe do throw
Like,
him in there.
Yeah, maybe just block out his name or something. But yeah, literally, like I text him and I say, hey, did you send a question to the Weekend Roundup? Absolutely bold move. It was just as bold as following him and his ex-girlfriend. Not really sure what goes through my head when I'm talking to him, but I just think it's not even like I think, like, I just know it's him, so I'm like so confident texting him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not risking anything because I know this is the person that sent it to me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna text him. He denies it at first, and then we get to chatting, and then eventually he
Catching
tells
up.
me, yeah, like, we get to catching up, and then eventually he tells me, yeah, like, it was me. And I was like, I fucking knew
That was
it.
our Nancy Drew moment. Well, your Nancy Drew
Yeah,
moment because
like,
I didn't.
That's just a classic psychic. Maddie just knows. Maddie knows. Maddie is sensing the vibes or something.
Maddie talks in the third person.
Maddie is talking in the third person because Maddie is psychic. And
The Maddie ahead of me told me.
future Maddie looks back at old Maddie and says, dude, like, that was him.
So yeah, it was him. It was confirmed. He
And
said it himself. And
yeah.
then, so I think kind of from there, you know, you guys were chatting and you're asking about the question.
Keep in mind, we're like 4 years deep into just the breakup, not including the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Relationship
So-
included, it's longer than
It's
4
longer than
years.
4 years. So we're like, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
Through talking and catching up, you realize that him and girlfriend numero uno.
Numero deux.
Oh, is uno not two?
Uno is one.
Oh.
Uno. Well, I guess you're actually speaking Spanish. I was speaking French.
Okay, well,
Uno, dos.
his
Numero
second
dos.
numero dos. They broke up. He told you that while you guys were catching up.
So he tells me he breaks up with his second girlfriend. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So keep in mind, over 4 years, this man tells me that he broke up with 2 girlfriends because he was still in love with me over all this time.
His words, not yours.
So what do I automatically think? He's been in love with me all that time because that's what he said. And that's what I'm going to believe. And that's, like, here's the thing. Like, you can only take people at their actions. And I think that was my biggest mistake. But you know what? Saving that for key takeaways.
Do you mean your word? You can't take people for just their words, and you have to put their actions to it too.
Yeah.
Because he was giving you a lot of empty words over.
He was telling me all the right things.
The texts were. I can tell you this now because we moved on. The texting was a bit much, Madison.
Yeah.
Y'all were talking like so much to the point that I was just like, this is so overwhelming. And I know that you said like you guys texted all the time when you were together. You were constantly texting.
No, we
and
did, and it wasn't healthy.
And I was like, for sure.
But it wasn't
You're always
even healthy.
texting your boyfriend when you're
still
at
wasn't
that
healthy.
age.
I still don't think it's healthy. Don't text your boyfriend all the time.
But it definitely went to show, and I think we talk a lot on this show about, getting with your ex, or people write in and ask like, oh, I want to get back with my ex. I want to hook up with my ex.
Yeah, this episode's for you.
And we always say, don't fall back into old patterns, become a new couple, become new friends. Don't go back to what you used to do. Mm-hmm. And you two immediately went back to what you used to do because it was like how you guys were like constantly texting was like like a high school couple. Do you know what
100%,
I mean?
100%. And like, it's interesting you say that because I never thought about it that way, but that's the facts. Like, I think
that's how I was viewing it on the outside.
We immediately jumped into what it used to be.
Very easy to slip back into that.
Yeah, and the reality of it is that it's never going to be what it was.
No.
It's never going to be what it was. So there's no point in trying to put somebody and yourself into this box of what you think it should be or what it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just not it.
A lot changes over a year. I mean, we filmed the sexting Bryce Hall video. It was 1 year ago today from the day that we filmed this. And because it was filmed on my birthday. And look at how different the two of us are in 1 year.
Sexting Bryce Hall.
Yeah, that was our episode
That was what we called that episode?
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to listen to that tonight.
Don't. It's not good.
I bet it's funny.
We always say don't fall back in. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, a year ago. Look how different you and I were a year ago.
No, yeah, 100%.
4 years? 4 years? That's a totally different person.
4 years is a whole new person.
But if
you hit 7, you're like, don't your like molecules change and shit? Like, you're literally physically a whole new person.
So, it's easy to fall back into old ways, but be aware of it.
Absolutely. And so I get the question. We start chatting, and we become like close, I guess. Like, he's still in the same place. He's like, look, I want to be with you. I do want to be with you eventually. But like, I think we should just start over and be friends and like start slow.
He had a great response, and it was almost like I had said the exact thing on the podcast before.
Almost.
And he was someone who, like I said, was very involved with the podcast, and
he definitely tuned into a few lives.
To my knowledge, kept up on episodes. He most certainly kept up on the lives. So I almost wonder how much of myself came through in that message, because it was too good to give to him.
Look,
to give him credit for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He said all the right things. Like, he knew what I wanted to hear. He knew. And so me and him, we're back on our
buddies.
Bullshit, honestly. Back on our bullshit. We're texting. We are trying to hang out, but he lives far away. Like, it's a whole thing. So we're in long distance. We're long distance friends. Just friends. Nothing's happened. And so one night we're texting and he hits me. Actually, he doesn't even text me this. I get a notification. And I get a notification from TD Bank.
Yeah, it was me, Maddie, and Brianna. Producer Brianna. We were hanging out at Maddie's house. We were watching Euphoria. And Maddie and him were texting, and she was like,
Yeah, I'm with my friends watching Euphoria.
I'm with my friends watching Euphoria right now. And he was like, oh, like, you guys should order a pizza. We were like, maybe.
Not my TD Bank app going off saying I got a $25 deposit from Mr. blank blank. I can't say his name. I said, Daddy? Daddy? I was like, wait, what?
We were all like, no fucking way.
So I get the notification and I'm like looking at it and I'm like, this must be a mistake. And then I get a text and the text is like, $25 in your account. Do with it what you want.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Don't spend it all in one place, bitch.
Daddy?
You about to tear Walmart up.
So yeah, the pizza is when I think I was like, okay,
This is a little
here's the
fucking
thing.
weird.
Here's the thing. I don't send pizzas to my friends, okay? Lauren, have I ever sent you $25 and I've been like, yo, do with it what you will?
No.
How fucking weird would that be? Like, imagine sending to just your buddy, like your friend, here's $25, do with it what you will. I'm sorry, that's a move. I'm sorry, that's a move.
Yeah, I think it's a move not to be a fucking classist, but not with $25. Like,
Yeah,
when you
like-
think of like, okay, baby, spend this where you want, like, it's not like a McDouble, like 2 McDouble meals,
Check the screenshot in the roundup.
It's normally a little bit, check the screenshot in the roundup if you haven't already.
The roundup's going to be funny this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, there was more that needed to happen. I think we needed to, at this point, like once I got the pizza, I don't think we had talked in person yet.
No, you hadn't. You guys had just been texting.
Yeah.
And then he sent you $25 and we ordered a pizza. And if you're listening,
Hawaiian.
and I know that you are, I want you to know that it was the shittiest fucking pizza I've ever eaten in my life. And I genuinely think it's because you paid for it. It sucked.
Look, I'm going to be
so
honest.
bad.
I very much appreciated the pizza.
I didn't.
At the time, I
thought it was a weird flex. I thought that you were
It
trying
was a
to
weird
be something that you
flex.
weren't. I thought, I can't mouth off like that. Well, just keep going.
Here's the thing about the pizza. I just don't understand what the intentions behind the pizza were. Why are you sending me a pizza? Like, no offense, I can pay for my own pizza. Like,
I think we could have.
And I get it was like
got
I
$25
get it was like I get
together.
it was like a nice gesture, but it's like if you're not looking to date me, don't be sending me pizzas. I'm not gonna send my friends pizzas.
He didn't send you pizza, baby. He sent you money. He sent you a check.
I know. I could have spent that on anything.
Make his pockets hurt, which that definitely.
I
did.
could have spent that on another date with another man.
Yeah,
And as I
should
should
have bought Plan B with that.
honestly. Okay, so this is where I'm putting the notes away because I'm gonna freeball this little part.
She's raw dogging her. Let's go.
I'm gonna raw dog this part right now. I'm sorry for the obscene language. I don't know what Lauren's on right now.
I'm so drunk. Just
So-
keep going. This is stressing me out. I've gotten so
Dude,
much drunker. Since
I am
we started.
so fucking stressed out right now. I told Lauren last night and I still feel like this. I feel like I've been walking on a tightrope for 24/7. And I think this episode coming out is gonna relieve some of that stress because it's been one of those things like
I don't know if I'll remember recording this.
we hang out. I invite this man over to my house, okay? And
The picture Maddie dropped in the group chat of them together was hilarious because everyone disliked the photo.
I didn't even say anything. I just sent the picture. I was like, hey guys, my man is in my home.
Imagine sending a picture of you and
Just
a
your
guy,
ex-boyfriend.
you and your ex-boyfriend in the group chat with no text, and everyone just dislikes the photo. Like you're at that point of casual with it.
And I just, I literally was like, ha ha ha. Like, it's funny as fuck. Like, it is funny. So here's the thing about the hangout.
I have some things to say about the hangout too.
The hangout was tea. The hangout was the first time we had hung out in like 4 years, honestly, other than like the drives. Like, this was the first time we like hung out. And oh my God, this is like actually kind of hard to talk about. Sorry, not to get traumatic right now and kick the table, freaking out. So we hang out, he comes over, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like,
Yeah, be honest with the people.
I always am. I felt like I was like fucking like so young again. Not me about to say the age. I felt like I was so young again, and I was like, wow, like it just felt so easy with him. And like I wish it was like that with everyone, to be honest. Like me and him just had this like best friend chemistry, to be honest. Like he was like my best friend for so long, and then I didn't talk to him, and then it was like meeting up with your best friend for the first time in so long and just telling them like everything that had happened and everything that happened to them and hearing about them. And I don't know, it was just like kind of crazy. It was a weird experience. It was
That is
weird.
sad that you felt that you could get right back into the flow with him. And
Yeah, like I was like, oh, okay, like it's just so easy with him. And he literally like pulls out all the fucking stops. He brings over actually to my house this box that I had made him and when we had dated, and it was like all cute and like wrapped in this little like brown paper, and I had like written all over it and drew all over it and like wrote like love notes basically all over it. And it was like, honestly, like it was some fucking cute girlfriend shit. Like, not to say I was a good girlfriend back in the day, but I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was like crazy about it. And then,
and how much of this did you do for your last boyfriend?
let's not talk about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to him. I'm sorry. You already heard your episode. Anyways,
Your airtime's cut off.
your airtime is cut.
I was just showing the significance for the jury.
So then we go and look through this box that he had brought over, and in the box is like every like physical memory that we have. Like he literally has like scrapbooks, he has photos, he has love notes, he has like the stuffed teddy bear that he gave me, and like I literally like slept with every night when we were together, and like he like just like everything is in that fucking box. And I was like, you kept this? Like if you're gonna bring out the box, I'm gonna think that we're going in a romantic direction. Like after that, it's
if
like,
you're sending me money, if you're sending flirty text messages, if
Like,
you're bringing back the box,
is
of
it
our
that
sake-
far of a stretch for me to think like, oh, we might be getting back together? Like probably not, you know? Like I was just, that's like what I thought. Like I was like, okay, yeah, like we're obviously meant to be together. Obviously. So we
And this is like around the time that Maddie first started hinting in season 2. Like, I know we did an advice episode and Maddie was like, the next question is about me talking to my ex again. And I was like, let's end it there then. Like,
yeah, that was a really solid place to stop. But yeah, so we went through all that. Did anything happen that night? Kissed a little.
we'll be honest.
I'll be honest, I kissed him.
Yep.
And that was it. I will be real. Like,
Bible.
Nothing else happened. Bible. Just kissed the guy. And it was nice, and I enjoyed it, and it's a shame. It's quite a shame. Okay, so yeah, we go through the box, whatever. He has to leave that night, so he goes home, and then I'm like on cloud 9. I'm like, okay, it's like bag secured. Like we are fucking getting back together, my guy, you know? And I feel like I'm at the point in the story, like the whole time, I feel like, you know, I've been able to tell the story like, oh yeah, I have hope. But I'm at the point now telling the story where I'm like, I can't even pretend. You know what happens, you know? So then it hits, I'm not going to say what day of the year, but a very special day of the year for lovers. Okay?
Yep.
And it's a pretty lovers oriented day. It's not really a day for your friends.
Yep.
And I think you probably can put together what day I'm talking about, Lauren.
Yep. I think so. If I remember
And
correctly.
so I'm on this day, I'm doing my routine. This holiday, I have a routine, and that routine is to go eat some cupcakes and watch a rom-com. And I do that every year, and I've done that every year. Like
On this
literally
day.
on this day, I've always done it. Like just by myself, it's like my thing, you know? And so I'm chilling doing that, and I'm literally napping, like I'm asleep, and I hear my doorbell ring. And I'm like, that's so fucking weird. Who the fuck is at my door? Because like I have like anxiety, right? So when I hear the doorbell, I'm like, no one texted me saying they were coming over. Like I freak. And so I go to the door and it's like a delivery guy holding roses. And he's like, Maddie Mills? Yeah. He's like, these are for you. Thanks, dude. I take them. I'm like, okay. I'm going to be honest. Like, there was no name on them, and I had no fucking idea who could have sent them.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Like, obviously, I wanted it to be him. Like, I wanted it to be him, and I really hoped it was him. I'm getting like, I'm like, okay, but it could be, you know, another ex. It could be someone I don't know.
I always think it's my dad.
Yeah, it could be like my dad, my brother. Like, honestly, you never know when someone sends you flowers. So I get the flowers on Valentine's Day. I'm like, who the fuck sent me these? So I'm like, do I ask him?
You just said the day that it was.
Oh, it was Valentine's Day. Sorry, I'm going to say it. It was Valentine's Day. And
When you're trying to be discreet, but you've had like 6 drinks.
here's the thing about being discreet. I was listening back to an episode on season 1, and we were like so mysterious, and like we tried so hard to hide everything. And the thing is, I do want to hide everything, especially in this episode, because I'm really not
It's very
trying
personal.
It's very personal. It's like, I'm not trying to hurt this guy. I really care for him. I don't want anything bad to happen. But it was fucking Valentine's Day that he sent me the flowers. So yeah, it was Valentine's Day. So obviously I'm thinking we are.
If somebody sent in a question in the question form and said, my ex sent me flowers on Valentine's Day.
I'd say, yo, they want to get back together.
Yeah.
Right?
Normal response.
Right? And like, my bad, my fucking mistake here, because it turns out that is not what he wanted. Unfortunately.
And the story ends with them being together happily ever after.
Yeah, we're actually, guys, this is actually my next boyfriend announcement. This guy.
2 for season 2.
Yeah, this is my second boyfriend to end season 2 with. No.
Oh my God.
You're
lapping me.
I started asking him to hang out, and just like the first time around, he starts pulling away.
Yep.
He's always busy. He like can't hang out. He's like just not really like communicating with me. I feel like we're not really texting as much as we used to, which is fine. Like,
that was so true. You guys would text constantly, like the first couple. I don't know. Is my microphone high enough? The first couple like days that they were talking, or a week or whatever. They were, like I just said, they were talking 24/7. They were constantly texting each other. I sit next to Maddie in class. I'm with Maddie all the time.
I'm on my lap, my Mac,
Her
like always
MacBook
fucking
is
texting,
blowing up with this guy,
and never paying attention in class. It's so bad.
And then suddenly, it was like, she's just like, oh yeah, no, like I haven't heard from him in like 3 hours or something. And then it's like, oh, I haven't heard from him in 6 hours, or I haven't heard from him in 8 hours. And it's just
we're
going
just not talking.
up and up and up. And then I'm like, well, what did you say to him? And the last time that Maddie would say anything was being like, what are you up to this weekend?
It was always
What's
me
up?
like asking like what's going on, like what can you do, and then he would just like not.
And then
answer.
suddenly he would just be gone. Like they would text all day and he would flirt all day, and he would say so many nice things about our show, and he said so many nice things about me to you. Like said that I was, what did he say?
I don't remember. Huge supporter though.
Lots of compliments getting thrown my way, which I
hyping-
appreciated.
He was hyping Lauren up, and we do think it was a little bit of a.
It was a little transparent.
Because if Lauren didn't like him, here's the thing: like,
I don't like him.
Yeah.
I've openly not liked him, and I've said on the show, which he listens to, that I don't like him.
That's facts.
So
I feel like.
But obviously he listens and he knows that flattery is the way to get to
Flattery
me.
is the best policy, so he knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. He, like, the thing is with you and I feel like a lot of people assume, like, if a guy has Lauren's approval, like, I'll probably be cool with it. And, like, that's actually facts for the most part, I think.
But at the end of the day, we don't make great decisions.
But at the end of the day, if I want to do something and everyone's telling me not to do it, I'm probably still going to do it. And then talk about it next week.
Never would we ever veto the other person because we think it's a bad decision. If it furthers the plot or if it furthers the gains,
I'll tell you,
then
look,
do it.
Look, I'm going to tell you it's a bad idea, but you should still do it. And that's what we call...
You did that 2 days ago.
That's what we call a green stop sign, everybody. Let's introduced the green stop sign.
We already did. Sperm
we?
man. Sperm boy.
Oh my God, he was totally.
He was our first green stop
There's
sign.
so many green stop signs are literally such a staple. I feel like in our friendship, like
That's not good.
like it's terrible. It's not good.
good.
But like Lauren would be like, Maddie, like this thing is happening to me. Like it's a green stop sign. It's like, okay, you probably shouldn't, but like it's green. It's telling you to stop, but like it's green.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe we'll touch on the last green stop light that you've recently approved in another episode.
Yeah.
He starts pulling back. He's not texting her as much. When she's like, "Oh, what's up?" Suddenly she's not hearing from him for hours on end, and it's just like I honestly couldn't help but be like, Maddie, this is such a stark reaction of like what happened
And
last
here's
time.
the thing.
You knew.
It was the exact same. It was the parallels were ridiculous. Like it was like, oh, okay. I felt, and I feel like this time around,
You knew it
was
right
like-
away.
Yeah, I knew it right away, and it was like almost like I wasn't even sad because I was just like, I'm gonna watch this play out exactly the way. Like I knew what was happening as it was happening, and I just let it happen. And I wish that I didn't, but that's what I did.
And this would be probably around the time where we kind of started slowing down like our personal stories on the podcast this season.
Yeah,
just
I don't know if you
because-
guys have noticed, but we did throw a few guest interviews your way. We did take a little bit of a leave, like of
I
absence.
went away.
Yeah, and like we
I
had
had-
pre-recorded, but we just didn't want to pre-record anything personal because this was when this was going down.
It was really fresh for Maddie. Like, you know, she was dealing with not only like the original breakup over again, but also like the second time that they had talked,
Yeah.
then he's doing it again. Like, I'm sure Maddie is feeling a lot of, you know, like, oh, how did I do this again? There's a lot of things. It's hard.
Yo,
When
I'm
you're
not gonna
going
lie,
through something-
I'm feeling dumb as fuck.
Yeah, it's a lot. And putting ourselves out there when we talk about our personal lives, normally we're already pretty removed from it, like emotionally.
Well, we normally, honestly, like the stories we tell are like, I know we usually tell them like it's like it happened that weekend, but like we try to
normally
wait
a couple weeks out.
Yeah, because if you do it like if you post it right when it happens, like you're gonna get backlash in your personal life, and I think people understand that. Like we're in a small city, we're like a pretty local podcast right now, so it's like I can't come on here and like tell you all the shit that's going on while it's happening. Like I'm also not trying to blow up anyone's spot. Like I genuinely mean that when I say that, and like why I'm telling this story is not to blow up his spot. I don't want anyone to perceive him in a certain way because of this episode. I'm sure he has his side of the story that's like it's probably totally valid. Like there's 3 sides to every story. This is my side, there's going to be his side, and there's going to be the truth.
And my side.
And you know what? Throw Lauren's side in there. There's 4 sides to every fucking story, especially on the roundup. Okay, so after all of that, okay, I'm left a little bit confused.
Yeah,
because
I mean, you would
he's giving me mixed messages. I'm seeing he telling me like that we're like meant to be together, but then also he just wants to be besties, like, which I'm not capable of doing. And
but
so,
then he's also like backing off for hours
Yeah.
at a time.
And so
like
this time around, like I've been through the ringer like twice already, you know? Like this is my 3rd time around. So I'm like, I know what's going on. And so I'm pursuing other options as well. And I'm not looking at just him as an option. As I have for the past literally 6 years, I'm looking at other people as well. And I did tell him this, and the reaction was not good. And I said, okay, well, I don't think. Well, actually,
you know
do
what?
wanna know I said?
I'll say what he fucking said.
No, you know what? Let me just read the fucking text because I do have them. And I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to be honest, and I want to make sure that we're accurate in everything we say here. I said, I don't know if I should say, I don't know if I should say what I said.
How about this? How about Maddie told this
Basically, I just said, if you want to be together and we're both going to make an effort, then let's fucking do this. And if not, then fuck it. Like, I'm not trying to have you
Then
play with
fuck
my
off.
emotions. Like then it's done. Like, then it's done. And the man never fucking answered me.
like it's almost it's almost,
He ghosted me.
yeah, like 3 for 3.
3 for 3. Like,
It's not a good
literally thrice. Okay?
Thrice.
I've been ghosted
Yeah.
by the same guy.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So bad.
Brutal. And
Horrible.
it's like, and
not
literally
no
it's like,
coming back.
all he had to say
I'm
was,
joking.
"You're right. I'm sorry." That's it. "You're right. I'm sorry. We don't have to talk anymore."
Yeah.
I didn't even expect to be together at that point. Like, it would just be fucking nice for him to answer. And maybe we wouldn't be here sitting in the seat right now.
Well,
But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's important to let things go.
mhm.
I think obviously I didn't let things go. Like, if you look back at this whole episode, every time I had the option between like going for it and letting it go, I went for it. I went for it. And I think there's something to be
it's good
said.
for you to recognize that, though.
No, yeah, of course. Like, I think it's like important of like, if you want to let go of, or I don't know. I think it's important to go for things if you want to go for them. I'm always an advocate for that. I'm always an advocate for like being bold in love. But I think this is a time when I took it too far, obviously, and like all it did was end up hurting myself.
Mm.
And so obviously I don't think you should do that. I'm not recommending following your ex and his girlfriend on Instagram if they're stalking your stories. I'm not recommending any of this. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I wish I left it like all those years ago and just like dropped off his shit and then just never talked to him again. And like, I don't know if I ever would have found the closure that I have, but I think it would have been a hell of a lot easier, you know? Like, and I think that brings up like the next key takeaway, which is literally just closure is something that nobody can give you, but that you have to find yourself. And like, you're not going to find that if you're constantly searching for something in the past and trying for it.
I mean, you can't write a new chapter when you're reading an old one.
Exactly.
You know?
And here we are closing the book. This is the grand finale. The last chapter is my podcast episode.
Yeah, I mean, we've been on a long journey here on the Weekend Roundup with this episode. This is not the version that was originally recorded, or the one after that, or the one after that, or the one after that. But this is the one that we think
This is the one that you're
go out.
hearing.
This is the one that you're hearing. Out.
And I also don't want people to think that I'm protecting him in putting out an episode that's like so censored. Like, this episode is censored. I'm gonna say, like, this episode
is highly
censored.
censored.
It's not our usual content. Like, usually we come on and we don't censor ourselves at all. But I've been so careful because I do genuinely care about him, and like, I don't want people to go and like freak the fuck out at him, or like, I don't know. Like, I don't want him to freak the fuck out. I don't want me to I don't want anyone to freak the fuck out. And I just think I was so hurt about the situation. There was no way I was going to be able to come on and record an episode that wasn't like fucking pissed off unless we recorded it 4 times. And so here we are. And I'm still a little tiny bit pissed off at the end, which is just what we expected. And here we are.
And, you know, I don't think you've fully made your peace with the situation, but I think that's a realistic look at it. You know what I mean?
No, like, I'm not, look, like, obviously I'm not fucking at peace with it. Or
Yeah.
else I don't think we'd be here. Like, if I was at peace with the situation, I think I'd say peace by whatever, I'm done. But at the end of the day, like, that's my first love. That's the person I cared about. And that's a person that I'll honestly always care about. Like, not to be drum. Oh my God, I feel so drum right now. I feel dramatic as fuck. But it's just not me spilling more stuff. Oh my God, we need to end the episode.
I know.
Honestly, guys, look, I just hope that you learn from my mistakes. That's why I'm putting out the episode. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want anyone to speculate who this is about. I don't want anyone to do anything crazy, because I want to come at you with some good stories, and I cannot continue to tell you about my personal life if you guys, I don't know, like, freak out and then I get in trouble for it, and then I'm just going to be shoving guests down your throat again for another 3 weeks. And so, yeah, that's
where we're
my
at.
that's my app. I wish I could have
Told
said
you
more, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for listening to the Weekend Roundup. That was a little bit tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. That was a little bit of a vulnerable episode. I'm sorry that we hyped it up so much, and it probably wasn't as crazy as you thought, but like it was kind of a big deal for me. Like personally, it was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this week's episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry about that. We had a lot to say.
I can talk a lot.
And we will see you back here on Thursday for our weekend warm-up. You can always submit, as we have mentioned, submit your questions in the question forum below.
Not me just absolutely hyping up the question forum today.
Always.
3 times.
3 times.
Literally, check the link in the bio. Send me something flirty, honestly. I just need I need something to hype me up after that episode, you know?
Keep on sliding in Maddie's DMs in the question forum. And if you are watching on YouTube, as always, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell button, like. If you are listening to us on a podcast platform, subscribe, give us a review. It really helps us out. Share it with
Rate
your
us 5
friends.
stars.
Yeah, you know.
5 stars.
You know what it
5
is.
whole stars.
Thank you for listening to this very emotional, very real, very serious
Me just
episode
in my feels.
of the Weekend Roundup. And on that note, Maddie,
Talk soon.
we'll talk soon. Thank you for watching this episode of the Weekend Roundup. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Maybe hit the bell button. And we'll see you back here next Sunday. Talk soon.